What's up, everyone? It's been a while since I've streamed. I've been moving, finally settled in my new place, and so we're gonna get back live streaming. I posted on my Twitter a live stream schedule that I'm gonna be following pretty strictly now. If you check it out, I'm gonna be streaming every Sunday and Tuesday. These are gonna be for sure streams where you know that you can come in around that time, 8:30 Central. I'm going to be streaming. Sundays I'm going to do market analysis, leading up to Monday morning, which is usually a pretty big trading day compared to the weekend. And then on Tuesdays, I'm going to talk about some altcoins. I'm just going to start calling it an altcoin with an E because I can't pronounce it right, to be completely honest. And it distracts me when I try and say altcoin. I can't even say it if I try. And then on Wednesdays, I'm probably going to be releasing videos. You guys know that I'm working on a video for Hat, and I'm also working on a video for Aion, but I think my video for Aion is going to be delayed because I want to knock out all three of the blockchain interoperability alliance at the same time. So I want to do my video on Aion, Icon, and WanChain all at the same time. But those are really tech heavy, and so it's going to take me a little bit more time for that. There's no rush to get into those. Those are going to be some of the biggest projects of this year. But the thing about those is they're going to take some time. Icon obviously broke out like crazy. I'm sure when WanChain gets listed, it's going to do the same. And then Aion, no one's really picking it up because they're kind of sad that they missed out on the TRS. And so I'm in the TRS. I advised everyone to get in on the TRS, and I'm just accumulating it while it gets lower and lower. But so today, I want to talk about where the market's at right now and what I think is going to happen. I have not been too spot on with my analysis. I'm not really a Bitcoin trader. Learned that the hard way over the past few weeks. So I'm just going to talk about some of the mistakes that I made during this correction because this was my first major correction. And, I learned from it, and I want to help everyone. If you haven't made these mistakes, don't ever make them. And if you did, then I'm gonna let you know what I'm doing to change them. So next time we have a big correction, I won't do as poorly. I'm a friend of Jake's from Denmark. Just reading through the comments real quick. Crypto FUDs all over. I don't know yet. Crockett Tubbs, what's up? So, eyebrows looking tight, homie. I wish I did my eyebrows. So Binance stopping trades for the next 12 hours. I haven't seen this yet. I'm not sure what happened. We'll look into that in a minute. But we'll talk about some coins at the end. And right now, I'm just gonna give some input on what I think's gonna happen. Obviously, like I just said, my expertise is the rest of the market, not Bitcoin, but I'm going to let you know what I'm doing. I don't think that the downtrend is over yet, but I think that we had the really harsh drop. I don't think we're going to have another significant 30 to 40% drop in a week, but I do think that this downtrend will continue for a little bit longer. Bitcoin historically has liked to double bottom for reversals. And I think that we're going to do a double bottom here, or we might go a little bit lower. But, we're probably going to get some sideways action, maybe go up and test 9,000, 9,700. But I don't see this being the end of the downtrend. The one thing that I do like is the volume on the reversal. It was definitely a dead cat bounce, in my opinion. But that volume is really significant. That's going to show that people are starting to pick up Bitcoin again at this price, even though it might go lower. I personally, when it was going down, I picked up around 10,000 and then I picked up around 7,600. Why those two prices? That's where I felt comfortable picking up Bitcoin because I know in the long run it's going to be worth a lot more. And it might have been a little bit early, but when it was going down, I picked a price that I was comfortable to start buying at and to continue buying at. And so I stuck to my plan, and I'm still happy with those decisions. My next target right now is about 5,600. Or 5,400. If we get to 56, 5,400 area, I'll probably pick up more Bitcoin for fiat again. In the meantime, I'm really trying not to make too many trades. The market, when it's this volatile, is really risky, and I don't really want to participate in that. So I'm taking this opportunity to research and, you know, network a little bit. I have some really good coins that I can't wait to make videos on and put in my newsletters, but I don't want to give them out right now while the market is horrible. I think there's going to be better opportunities for them. I will start releasing them over time once I'm comfortable talking about them in a video or in the newsletter, but I'm not really in a rush to get them out because I still think that we have a little bit of downside in the market. Could be completely wrong. If we don't have downside, I still do expect sideways action until March or mid-March. And so that's my Bitcoin opinion right now. So let's talk about what happened. I'm gonna talk about some of the mistakes that I made. I'm not sure if anyone else made the same mistakes, but you know, I don't want anyone to make these mistakes. You know, this was my first major correction. I've only been in crypto since May, and so I learned a lot from it. And I'm not wrecked, but I could have played it better. So the first thing that I should have done was sold more in this area right here. I did take some profits, you know, my living expenses in this 13 to 15,000 area. But if we check out some indicators, which, I mean, I don't use many indicators, but we'll do clouds and then we'll do the stock. Let me change this to the right settings. So if we check out the stock, you know, it's giving us a pretty serious bearish deviation right here. And this was a signal that the market's going to have some sort of correction. You know, we broke out into this parabolic trend. All of us were obviously like in the fantasy saying Bitcoin's going to go to 100K immediately just because of the gains we just saw. And no one really took the time to realize what was actually going on a macro trend. And so if we would have taken the time to see a few sell signals, most importantly, you know, I didn't listen to my own signals that I follow and I preach. Right here was the big sell signal, the crossover on Ichimoku, and it's at 15,000. You know, it's not about selling at the top and it's not about buying at the bottom. It's about securing profits. And you know, I should have sold a pretty significant portion here. When we had this second crossover was where I started to sell what I felt I should, which should have been more at the time. And you know, I have most of my portfolio in crypto, and I should have withdrew more to fiat because I could have gotten in at a better price. And you know, a lot of people have significant portions of their money in crypto, and you know, some people say it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem if it's spread out the right way, mostly in the less volatile coins. I know you're going to say, what's a less volatile coin when Bitcoin just dropped 60%? But, you know, long term, there's really good things. And so that's the first thing is when we get to another high again, just start taking some profits. One strategy I'm going to start doing is every week I'm going to have a certain amount of money that I withdraw to fiat, whether I trade well or not, just so I can increase the fiat balance. And then when we have times like this, you know, I can buy the dip a lot harder. If I would have withdrew more up at the 14, 15,000 area, I don't think I would have actually waited until the 7,000 area to put it back in. I'm sure I would have bought it at the 10,000 area, but that's still a pretty good game. Okay, let's get into some questions. Can you look at Stack after you finish your list of altcoins? Yeah, Stack's on my list. I haven't done enough research on it yet, so I'm not going to say much. Not holding my extra bytes anymore, but it's still a good hold. Bitcoin heading to 9K. I think we're going to retest 9K, maybe go to 9,700 before falling again. You know, I'm looking at this area right here as resistance. You know, most of my Bitcoin stuff I've actually been getting from CryptoCred and Flood. Those guys are pretty much the best Bitcoin TA out there right now, and so I've been watching their videos to try and learn more Bitcoin TA because I mostly trade in the mid and low cap markets. But they've been emphasizing this area right here as a pretty strong resistance. So I think that we're going to test this 9,700 area before making a double bottom, possibly dropping lower, but I definitely think a double bottom is going to happen, and I think we will get rejected at around 96, 9,700. Would you hold some else right now? I haven't been buying any, but I'm still holding a lot of my positions. You know, I posted on the Instagram a rough distribution of what my portfolio looks like. You know, it wasn't actual values, but that's around the percent of those alts that I'm holding. I have changed it around a little bit, and I do plan on restructuring it a little bit more, but I'll post an update as soon as I do. We all could have made, yeah, we all could have done it, but, you know, there's people that need to hear it. And, you know, me explaining that I made the same mistakes makes other people feel more comfortable with what they did. And so, you know, I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't make the same mistakes as everyone else. You know, but we're all going to learn together. Why not 2060, 120, 30 on Ichimoku? I went back and reviewed the videos with Crypto Says, and these are the right settings. I think that these give you the signals a little bit earlier, especially when you're looking on longer term trends. Do I own any titty coin? No titty coin. Can I pump BTC? No, no pumping BTC. Isn't it bullish RSI divergence? Well, we're making a higher high on the RSI and we're making a lower high on Bitcoin. So that is bearish divergence. Bullish divergence would be here where we are making higher highs, or sorry. Bullish divergence is when we are making lower lows on the RSI and higher highs on the chart. And so if we go back, we can see a bunch of bullish divergence before this breakout. Let's see what else we can get into. Let's link up in the Shy. If you're in Chicago, actually, I'm starting some community meetups. I'll have more information about that in the next couple weeks. But someone I'm working with is offering their location. It's Hubbard Inn. And we're going to be able to do Chicago meetups. Peripheral, I don't hate you. If you're looking in the comments, you know, Peripheral is watching today. I just added him as an admin on the Gem Club. He'll be posting some information soon. CryptoCred hates Peripheral too. Yeah, I mean, should I just ban him? How do I ban someone from the chat? Anyways, so let's get into some of the mid and low caps that I have been looking at right now. Dragon Chain, I'm going to have an update about soon. One coin that I did pick up was Nebulous. I picked up Nebulous and Cash. These are a little bit of a higher market cap for me, but I think that long term these are going to have some pretty big implications in the crypto world. Nebulous is like a distributed search algorithm, kind of like the crypto version of Google. And Cash is focused on putting more liquidity into the market. So once we have bigger players in the market, which I'm sure they're accumulating right now, we're going to need that liquidity. And so Cash is going to be pretty important. If you're interested in Cash and Nebulous, Korean Jew has videos on both of them. And, you know, he can help them. Why did you sell Canyon Coin? I didn't sell Canyon Coin, actually. I'm still holding Canyon Coin. In March, they're going to have the global launch, and I'm assuming it's going to go pretty well. So, you know, let's get to the second page. Actually, before we get to the second page, I'm going to give away one of my favorites for this year is 10x Pay. I'm going to put a pretty significant portion of my portfolio into 10x once the market starts to turn around a little bit and I redistribute my formula. I think that this is a sleeper. No one's really been talking about it for a while. Their main CEO is one of the smartest people in the crypto industry, and I've been listening to a lot of his interviews lately, and they have some really big stuff coming at the end of this quarter, start of next quarter. And so this is my sleeper pick. If you're watching this live stream right now, you get a huge bonus because I'm going to be pretty aggressively talking about 10x Pay soon. See some more people in the comments. What's up, other Ivan? Hey Sally, good to see you in here. So yeah, NAS and Cash I have pretty significant bags of them. Those are long-term holds. Oh, Bitcoin Bravado's here too. Wow, I got quite the crowd in the comments right now. You guys are all making me nervous. Let's talk about a little bit of Aion though. So I've been working on my Aion video. It's a pretty difficult tech-heavy thing, but I'll get into it a little bit right now. I'll just get into the executive summary. The white paper gets really tech-heavy once they get into the consensus algorithm. But so what Aion is it's a next generation blockchain. And their whole blockchain is designed to, actually I'm going to go into the white paper. The whole reason for the blockchain is to create bridges between other blockchains. So essentially it's going to allow blockchains that don't communicate right now to communicate with each other. And it's not going to just allow them to send tokens through different blockchain, like cross blockchain, but it's also going to allow them to send logic through blockchain. So you're going to be able to essentially like write a smart contract using different blockchains. And so their first implementation of their network is going to be called Aion 1. And essentially Aion 1 is going to allow blockchain to scale in a way that it hasn't before. I want to find this one section in here that will help explain it a lot. So at the root of the Aion network, so Aion itself, the network is a consensus algorithm, and they're building the blockchain called Aion 1, which is essentially their first implementation of the Aion consensus algorithm. And like it says, it's designed to connect other blockchains and manage its own robust application. Aion 1 also provides the economic system that incentivizes interoperability in the ecosystem. And so what Aion 1 is going to do is it's going to create these things called smart bridges. And smart bridges are going to allow blockchains to communicate with each other that wouldn't otherwise, as I just said. And the cool thing about these smart bridges, I don't want to talk about them yet because I'm not comfortable enough using the terms. But one thing I do want to talk about is their consensus algorithm. So they're creating a new consensus algorithm called proof of intelligence. And it's pretty similar to delegated proof of stake. I know I'm scrolling a lot. I'm just trying to find the proof of intelligence. So it's going to be pretty similar to delegated proof of stake in a sense where the people controlling the smart bridges are going to be delegated. So what delegated proof of stake is compared to regular proof of stake is in proof of stake, anyone can be chosen to create the next block. In delegated proof of stake, you have a vote. And so, you want to vote for someone that's always going to be on the network and that's trustworthy. So in delegated proof of stake, everyone has a vote and you vote for someone who is going to create the block. And there's a certain amount of delegates that create the blocks, which is staking essentially compared to proof of work. And so the way that Aion's going to implement this is there's going to be more than one bridge between each blockchain. So there's going to be competition to have the most efficient smart bridge between blockchains. And to do this, they're going to, like I said, have the delegated proof of stake, where there's going to be a few different smart bridges, and they could have different fees, different transaction times, and different things like that. But you're going to get to pick, if you're holding Aion tokens, who you want creating the blocks. And so this kind of natural competition will also lead to multiple smart bridges. And when you have multiple smart bridges, the network's more secure because you don't just have one point that could get compromised and ruin the whole network, or not the whole network, but that bridge between two blockchains. You have multiple bridges that all have different fee structures and different people voting for them essentially. And so that in a nutshell is what Aion is. Like I said, it's one of the most interesting coins I've found, and the tech is really intense. You can see from their white paper, it gets pretty in depth. It's giving me bad flashbacks from some of my harder CS classes. But so if you want a lightweight version of Aion, read their executive summary. It gives it to you in really easy terms, what their challenges are and what they're trying to solve. They're part of the alliance with Wanchain and Icon. And those are going to be probably three of the most important coins this year if blockchain's going to really take over. Whew, lots of comments. Can you talk a little bit about Aion? That's where I left off. Then I said hi to Bitcoin Bravado. I can't believe you guys brought me into the office and made me build furniture. Okay. Do you like any of the AI cryptos like DBC, bot? Man, I don't really have too many AI coins right now. One of them's going to be big, but there's just too many trading right now, and I don't know which one I want. Can you do an Australian accent? Dude, I can barely pronounce my A's. I can't even do it. I can't even do an English accent. The CEO of 10x is def a genius in any market. He is, and the interview I'm referring to is the one with Ivan on Tech. He does an interview with Julian. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Let's see, which one is it? I posted it when he did it, and if you just skip to 50 minutes and you listen to what Julian has to say about 10x and their plan to scale and what they're doing, it's really amazing. They're going to have another card provider pretty soon, and he was kind of talking about how they're the only ones in the industry who know what people choose to spend crypto on, and in addition to that, you know, they have statistics like what does someone spend Bitcoin on versus what does someone spend Ethereum on. And, you know, I was just really amazed with the interview. I watch all of his interviews, and I get a lot of really good information from him. A lot of people are talking about STK. They have the MasterCard partnership, but I don't know enough about STK to be talking about it. I don't really think it matters what card provider you have a partnership. It's going to be who has market dominance. And, you know, Julian Hosp is someone you can really get behind. I think you said divergent the opposite way. I think I did too. I had a weird message on my Telegram and I kind of got distracted for a second. So whatever I said about divergences, just ignore it. I'll talk about it in a different video, but I had a weird message and I was just kind of shocked. Jaeger bombs later? Yeah. If anyone's in Chicago, I'm down for Jaeger bombs. So another thing I wanted to talk about in the stream today is Ethereum, because something weird is going on with Ethereum in my opinion, and it's because of all these ICOs. Which chart do I want to look at? Let's do Bitfinex, and let's look at Ethereum versus USD. So Ethereum versus USD, you know, Ethereum has had a really good run, and I think it's at a pretty decent level to start picking up again. I almost want to pick up Ethereum over Bitcoin just because of what's been going on in the market. I'm starting to get a little, not worried, but there's just too many ICOs going on right now, and it's starting to bother me that there's going to be a big problem with ICOs. We heard what the US had to say yesterday about ICOs, and it was pretty negative. I'm assuming that US customers aren't going to be able to get into any ICOs anymore, or at least the ones that they get into are going to be very carefully chosen and really close with regulations. But so everyone's been locking up so much Ethereum in these ICOs, and the big ones from the last couple weeks and the last month haven't been listed yet. And so I'm just kind of worried about what's going to happen when these ICOs get listed. I'm talking about ICOs like Wanchain and Nucleus. You know, there's a significant amount of Ethereum locked up somewhere. And once these people get their tokens, are they just going to dump them back for Ethereum? Or is there going to be a huge rush for people to pick up these tokens who didn't get in the ICO? So there's both of those situations are kind of leading me towards Ethereum going up pretty significantly. If we look at it versus Bitcoin, I can definitely see it retesting its all-time high and probably breaking out of it. You know, we're starting to get some volume again on it since this little drop, which was the whole market was dropping. But as you can see, this is the first time Ethereum's had significant volume since about May of last year. And if you look at this, you know, the chart looks pretty healthy. I don't doubt at all that it's going to retest this 0.15. It retesting 0.15, I don't know if it's going to be because of Bitcoin going down significantly to that 3,000 to 5,000 level that I was talking about, or if it's just going to be because of the sheer demand of Ethereum for ICOs. I don't know exactly how the ICOs work, but I'm assuming that when they get the Ethereum, they cash out a lot to USD, especially in a market like right now. Just because they're going to need it to be more stable. Because, you know, if an ICO was taking Ethereum at 1,300 and they said their sale sells out, and now Ethereum's at 800, 820, they have about 40% less to fund with. And, you know, I'm just really bullish on Ethereum. I've been saying that since about, where was it? About the 700 level. back here. You know, I never really talked about Ethereum in my earlier days because I didn't like it, but right around 700 I changed my mind. I said that I think it's going to go to around 1,000 and then maybe 3,000 by June. I'm going to stick by that. Ethereum's a pretty good pickup right now. There's just a lot of demand for it. The network is going to scale. The only thing I'm worried about with Ethereum is that Vitalik, it's going to be interesting to see if he stays with the project, because that guy is just like a savant dude. He just wants to code, and Ethereum's kind of turning into this massive worldwide company, and I don't think he's interested in being the face of that company. Like, he just wants to write code. And we need people like that in the world, but it almost worries me that he might step away from Ethereum to start working on a new project. You know, if that happens, I don't know if the price of Ethereum would be significantly affected just because of how widely it's adopted in the cryptocurrency world. But that's something that's in the back of my mind that I'm always thinking about. Did I invest in Current ICO? Yeah, I did. Right now, I'm in Current, BlockX, WePower, Nucleus Vision, and one other one, Exim Chain. Let's see what else we got in the comments. CryptoCred, I will take you to the moon. We just gotta wait for my altcoins to start trading again. I got some good ones for you. How is Aion Smart Bridges different from what ARK has been working on? So Aion is different because it's introducing a new algorithm, the proof of intelligence. And essentially there's going to be, you know, you can stake, but there's going to be multiple different things you can do. As I was saying, when you're staking, you can vote for someone to be the delegate for you, essentially in the smart bridge. So that's going to be backing. You know, in addition, you can just stake the tokens, and then you can also be a solver. And when you're a solver, it's kind of like mining, and you're actually running the proof of intelligence algorithm. And I don't want to talk about Aion too much because I'm not ready to make the video, but it does differ pretty significantly from ARK. And if you're interested and you want to come undertake the Aion white paper, I feel that you should try it. But you know, I need to probably read it 2 or 3 more times before I'm gonna be comfortable talking about it. The portfolio I posted on Instagram was missing a few coins. It was missing Shift, Kenya Coin, and there's one other one. You know, I don't use any of those portfolio apps, so I just kind of made it off the top of my head because a lot of people wanted to see it. I do still hold Kenya Coin, I do still hold Shift, and I can't think of the third one that I didn't post, but I made comments on it that I was still holding them. I'll do a few more questions and then I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna take a night off of crypto and go out with some friends. Strat or UBQ? UBQ. I think UBQ has a lot more room to grow. So UBQ, UBIC, only $100 million market cap, and it has a ton of support from the OGs. If you didn't notice, the OGs know what they're talking about. If you were a bull at, you know, Bitcoin 16 to 20,000, the OGs were the ones that were selling and telling you we might go back to 5,000. Peripheral, I know that you want me to pump your strap bag, but I can't. Crockett, I don't do any drugs. I'm skinny because I have been sitting in this chair for a couple months. Little wary of ETH at the moment. Most U.S. regulations seem to be reactive towards ICOs. It's going to be more interesting to see how markets move. Well, the thing about it is we've already seen how the market reacts to ICOs. And the U.S. customers aren't able to get in a significant portion of them, and they've still been selling out. So even if they do have stronger regulations on ICOs in the U.S., it's not going to be a problem because that just means when it gets listed, all the U.S. people are going to buy it. Yeah, I did invest in Current, and yeah, I did invest in Legolas. Ardor, I am a fan of. You know, it's one of those blockchains that could take off. Just saw a pretty big dump. You know, I've been accumulating a little bit of it. I had some before the Ignis launch. So Ignis was the first child chain of Ardor, and Ardor is basically going to rely on having child chains. That's like the whole point of it. No one really successfully uses child chains right now. If you're wondering what a child chain is, I have this great explanation for you. You go to google.com and you type in child chain blockchain, and Jelly, I don't know how to pronounce this, but this is essentially Ardor's company, and they will tell you exactly what a side chain is, what the important part about it is, and why there's such a big advantage. Shift is implementing child chains as well, and I'm sure a lot of other coins are. So let's go one more question. I'm going to wait until there's a really good question, and I'll end on that. ECC. Say something nice about Aion. I'm not going to say anything nice about Aion. I don't like the valuation right now. What is it? 1.6 billion? That's not bad. This is okay. I think Aion's okay. When it was at a $5 billion market cap, $6 billion market cap, I thought it was a no. Because they just delayed their blockchain, their mainnet launch, didn't they? So, you know, that's a bad thing. But Aion is going to be, like I said, one of those big companies. I'm going to definitely have a bag of Aion, a bag of Aion, and a bag of Wanchain. Still waiting on that ending question. All right, this is one that I'll take. Thoughts on SEC and CFTC impacts on Dragon given the shade on ICOs. So Dragon Chain wasn't registered under the SEC, but they were the first ICO to be completely SEC compliant, which means you know, they would have been fine, and that's why they were allowed to sell to U.S. customers in their ICO. And so I'm not worried about Dragon Chain at all. I think that they're probably going to have a huge update soon. There's been some FUD about it, but I'm going to get in contact with the team and get an update from them. Like I said, I'm still really bullish on Dragon Chain. Market cap 350 million right now. Let's see where Neo's at. 7.4 billion. So Dragon Chain has a ton of room to grow. You know, any problems they're running into right now, I'm sure it's just the whole U.S. thing with securities, and they've been on top of that since day one. They even have a guy from the FBI on the team, so I'm sure they weren't trying to go around any things when they were doing their ICO. All right, I think that I'm gonna finish off on that note. Will John McAfee eat his dick by 2020? Probably not. I don't think so. He's showing a bluff. Any future ICOs that I'm getting into? I'm gonna be getting into Globotex, and I'm looking at a few others. I don't wanna give too much info out yet because I haven't looked into them enough. All right, well, as you guys saw, new streaming schedules right here. I'll probably have some better content coming up. I'm gonna start preparing a lot more for these live streams. This one was, you know, I just had to get back on here. It's been a while, and I'm finally settled into my new apartment, and I'll be on a lot. Bitcoin Bravado. See you at the office tomorrow. I'll be in by 12:31. I heard that you're buying me lunch, though. All right, I'll see you guys.